Chase Briscoe, driver of the number 14 Stewart Haas Racing Ford. Chase, congratulations on your twins earlier this week.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you have a question for Chase, go ahead and raise your hand. We will start right there.
Trenton Warsham with FrenchDash.com. Back at Darlington, you had to win that race again in the playoffs, and it was a little bit more of a straightforward, oval. With the stage points and the stage racing at road courses, how are you planning to approach this to, obviously try to win, but also get the points to make up the deficit?
Yeah, I think for us, it's honestly better that we're kind of in the position that we are being, 32 out or whatever it is versus 15, just because, if you're 15 to even 20, that is doable. Where with 30, you just, at least for us, we're just looking at it as a must win. And I mean, yeah, you could maybe point your way in, but a lot of things would have to go your ways. So I think it honestly opens up a lot for us from a strategy standpoint of just going in with the approach of flipping the track position and everything else. So, yeah, to be below the cut line is obviously unfortunate, but honestly, I would much rather it be 30-something points than 15, just because I think it makes it a little more clear of what you need to do from a strategy standpoint. And out of all the tracks in this round, this is the one where I feel the most confident to come and battle for the win. So hopefully we can do that.
We're going to come up to the front, and then we'll go to Kelly, also in the front on the right, and then Zach.
Bruce Martin with Forbes Sports Money. Does it affect the way we've had two races with two non-playoff guys win races? Is that good for the guys that need to get in, or does that make it difficult?
Yeah, I think it's good if you're, around the cut line for sure, just because that's, if guys in the playoffs win, it just moves that cut line farther down. So I think, for the guys near the cut line, it definitely makes it a little bit easier. But for us, where we're at in a point situation, it really doesn't matter, truthfully. So, yeah, I think it definitely, though, makes a difference. The first round even, right? If I don't win the race, I'm cheering that a non-playoff guy wins just because it makes it a lot easier.
And could we see a situation tomorrow where an entire segment of races, three-race segment in the playoffs, where non-playoff guys end up winning those races?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with, Allmendinger and SVG and guys like that, I think that here, too, just with the strategy standpoint, it's going to be flipped more than any of the oval races that we have. So it definitely would not surprise me at all to see a non-playoff guy win, but hopefully a playoff guy wins.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Chase, coming into the playoffs, you said the motivation or the rallying cry with the team was basically, why not us? We've seen Tony do it. So coming in this weekend saying it's a must-win, is there any motivation or speech this week amongst the team about the goal and the job on Sunday?
To be honest with you, I've not been at the shop all week. So, yeah, I think for me, I'm not – I don't feel worried at all. I honestly feel like I did going into the Darlington week where, I know that we can win here. We've done it before, in the Xfinity level. But this is a track I feel really good about. Our road course stuff obviously has been really good if you look at Watkins Glen and things like that. So, yeah, I'm not really nervous. There's not a whole lot that I feel like isn't capable by our team, and we do everything right. It just is obviously going to take a good weekend. And, with where we're at in the points, I feel like it makes it easier to win the race just because you don't have to – put yourself where you get the points, then you restart 20th every single time. You can just flip the track position, and you're going to start up front every time. So, yeah, I feel really good about it, truthfully.
You and Boswell last week were pretty outspoken and frustrated with what happened at Talladega with the DVP policy and the towing. Are you familiar with what NASCAR told the crew chiefs this week about how they're going to approach these next 5 races?
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I've not been on my phone.
We're going to go Zach, Bob, Davey.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Chase, first and foremost, you mentioned not being on your phone and not being at the shop. How is life now as the father of 3 with twins, and how's Marissa doing?
Yeah, it's been a chaotic week. Marissa's actually at the ER right now. So, yeah, she's been twice. She's had a lot of just issues after. So hopefully I can get done quick here and get back home. But, yeah, the babies are good. They're super small. I did not expect them to be as small as they are. But, yeah, definitely not getting a lot of sleep. Trying to be the best dad and play mom at the same time, just with how bad Marissa's been struggling. So it's been a busy week, and one that I probably haven't focused a whole lot on racing, truthfully. But, I'm excited to get in the car today just from that standpoint of trying to, zone out everything that I've had going on all week. So yeah, I feel good about it. Being a father of three has been really cool. It's been cool to see Brooks transition into the big brother role already, and just hoping that Marissa will obviously be okay and get back to her.
Racing wise, were you able to watch Xfinity practice at all? And if so, was there anything you could take away from just the new configuration, and how does the new configuration impact your confidence, if at all?
Yeah, I saw, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 laps of practice. I didn't see a whole lot, but I think what I had planned on doing as far as the new section looked like what they were doing. So I definitely think that, the section over here, I think turn 7 or whatever, is going to be very interesting when the race starts, just because the racing line really opens you up to just getting taken advantage of. So you're going to have to play a lot of defense there, and it's definitely going to create a ton of passing opportunities, I think, not only in that corner, but even into the back straightaway. So I think they did a really good job with it. It's going to make it really unique just because it's off camber. There's just a lot of things that I think are really going to add to the complexion of this racetrack, and I'm looking forward to getting on it. Thanks.
Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Parker's Fox Sports. So does having the twins this week make it any less stressful or less like, well, if I don't advance, still have the twins?
I think just your perspective changes. At least it did for me, even with Brooks. That, what I do in the race car is important, but in the big scheme of things, in the big scheme of life, it's not the most important thing where I finish on a Sunday. So, I think it does add motivation at the same time, just knowing that you have 2 more mouths to feed and things like that, and you want to provide for your family, but it also. My worth is not where I finish on Sunday, whether I move on in the playoffs. It's how good of a husband I am and a father I am, and that's kind of what I try to take pride in.
We'll go Davey, Jordan, and then Lee.
Davey Siegel with Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. With the closure of the team at the end of the year, we've heard from some drivers that move teams and also some crew chiefs at SHR about the information flow from Ford, or maybe lack thereof, with respect to all the stuff that you got going on outside of the race car this week, the last several weeks, and then I guess partly this week as well. How has that information flow been, and have you noticed any, I guess you could say chinks in the armor from that perspective?
Yeah, from my standpoint, at least the driver's side, I haven't seen anything, but I'm also not the one doing all the setups and stuff like that. So I try to not get in the weeds of that stuff. But I know for me, I'm still going to the simulator. I'm doing all of those things. So from my standpoint, I feel like we still have everything we need. Even in the playoffs, I've been able to run up front and battle, and so I don't feel like we're missing anything by any means. So yeah, I feel like all that's really strong. If we don't move on out of the round of the playoffs, I don't know if that changes, but I certainly right now feel like we have everything we need.
Your success at this track is one thing. The course changes are a whole nother ball game. How do you balance knowing that you have had success here in the past, you have that confidence, versus the changes that are new this year are pretty substantial, and how that's going to impact things?
Yeah, I'm honestly glad of the changes, just due to the fact that I feel like it just makes it a little bit more of an even playing field, and kind of reminds me of the first time we came here, right? There's a lot of new. Nobody really has the advantage of just having laps here. So yeah, I'm excited for the new changes. I think it fits me a little bit better anyways. That section that they took out was probably my worst part of the racetrack. So I feel really good about it for sure.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. Kind of a follow-up. How do you not get distracted with everything else going on at home, focusing on that, and with obviously the race Sunday?
I think, for me, my faith is a big one, and then just having a really good support system, between Marissa's parents and my parents, doing everything they can to just make it easier for both of us, right? It's chaos. I'm not going to lie. Just, with Marissa, being at the ER right now, not wanting to bring 4-day-old twins into the ER. So they're out in the parking lot with my mom, and she's pumping and running milk out there. So, then I'm going back and forth. So, it's chaotic, but without that support system and without, that family support, it would be way harder. So, with that being said, it's been as chaotic of a week as it's been. It's still... It could be a lot worse, right? There's a lot worse things that we could be going through, and it could be a lot harder for us. We've got it pretty good still. So, I don't know. I think just my faith and then having that support system definitely makes it a little bit easier to just not get lost in the chaos.
Speaking of chaos, ROVAL's been reconfigured. A lot of drivers are expecting chaos in turn 7. What have your impressions so far as you've taken sim laps?
Yeah, I definitely think that it's going to add a new passing zone that was never there. Just with that whole section before, you would honestly just follow the leader, and then the speeds were so fast that even the backstretch chicane didn't really turn into as big of a passing zone as it could be, where now you're going to have 2 more passing zones. Just so from that standpoint, it's definitely going to be more chaotic. But I do think it's going to make it a little bit more just in the driver's hands, because I think you can find more time now in different areas, where before, that whole section was kind of the same speed for everybody. You couldn't really differentiate yourself that much, where now I think you can definitely do that. So, I'm really excited with what they've done, and think it'll be, just added value to this racetrack.
Go ahead, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio and Catchfence.com. What is the difference as far as track surface goes when you race at Las Vegas in the spring and when you go back in the fall?
I would say just the temperature seems like it's always hotter whenever we go there in the fall. For whatever reason, it seems like it's always, the track just races a little bit wider. It's a little slicker. And when we go there in the spring, it's a little more bottom dominant, I feel like, where in the fall you can normally run the fence a little bit easier and do things like that. So to me, I don't really notice a track change as much as I do just the temperature. I think I was looking the other day, it's going to be like 100 degrees next week out there. So that should be better for the racing, though, just make it wider. I know when we were there in the spring, it was really bottom dominant, at least the best guys were. So hopefully that'll make it better.
So is the RV in the hospital parking lot, or did you bring it here?
No, it's here. For Brooks, he's going to come with me tomorrow. So, yeah, it's here. Thanks.
And we're going to end with Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. How did you come up with the names for the twins?
So Cooper is Marissa's maiden name, so that one was kind of easy. And then the girl name, I honestly don't know where Marissa really got it, other than I know it's in the movie The Blind Side, and I think she'd heard it there maybe once. She was wanting names that kind of went together. I was trying to go for Bonnie, because there was a Bonnie Briscoe at one point, and I thought it was kind of cute and southern. But, we ended up going with Collins, and I ended up loving it.
How much sleep have you gotten this week?
I would say more than Marissa, for sure. But, yeah, I would say 4 or 5 hours a night, maybe. That's being generous, though.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, there's the checkered flag. Great job, driver.